Hello, and welcome to 10 Video Countdown to 10 years. I am counting down my 10-year Japan anniversary. 10 years ago, on July 7th, I landed in Japan. I landed ahead of training that started on the 12th, so I could have time to see my friend Lindsay, just visit my university again and enjoy Tokyo before I moved to Interact knows where. First day of training, I was told I was moving to Hitachi in Ibaraki Prefecture. And I still remember the piece of paper, which was like a printout of the English wiki for Hitachi City. It said Hitachi, because it was Hitachi City under the Hitachi branch. I was basically being sent to Tohoku, except Tohoku ended and I was like an hour under that. But my first department in Japan was picked by Interact, and they used a company called Daito or Net. And my first department was a 1K. So basically, that means you have a bedroom and a kitchen. That was about it, as you can see. It was about, I think I was paying like $320 a month. And, we'll get that lighting on. There we go. About $320 a month. And it was near Juo River. I lived in Juo area, which is the Juo train station. Couple of years, I want to say, before I moved there, Juo became a part of Hitachi City. Now, when I first arrived, I basically felt I'm not going anywhere unless life takes me somewhere. So, Hitachi will always be my first kind of home. It's a very industrial city, as you can tell. Hitachi. It is that Hitachi. The main Hitachi factory is in the city and whatnot. I loved it. I loved being in Juo, which was more rural. I had like a plot of open land, which now has like a house built on it. And then it was the river. There was 2 times that I clearly remember leaving my apartment and there were frogs everywhere on the stairs. Opened my door and it was like right outside my door on the wall. Crickets, same. Due to the river that was like one little plot away. But yeah, so I moved in July, towards the end of July, with all the training finished, and then I had a week of training, or 2 days, no, a week of training with the Hitachi branch, which was working to move to Mito due to earthquake damage to their offices in Hitachi. So now the Mito branch, which could have changed, I don't know, I haven't kept up with that. They might have been eaten by the Tokyo 1, Tokyo 2 Interact groups that came out. I don't know how it works anymore. So that's why I heard of Net. So I came in the end of July, had the whole summer to defrag and just go, this is my place, until I started work. And the next intake, which was the following March, April, the next school year, my future bestie, Kylie, came to Japan. I actually stalked her on Facebook before, and because like I think I heard her name for people who were, no, she was going to work at my school, so I Facebooked her, and then I sent her a message, and that started off. So she came. She had issues with her apartment that Interact originally picked for her. So she had to stay in the hotel for 2 weeks, I want to say, while they tried to find her apartment. And Kylie was new to Japan, freaking out. She's alone in another country. All these Japanese people, company people. I have to pick an apartment. What do I do? Hey, nice girl who messaged me on Facebook and who I will be working with. Do you want to come house shopping with me? Okay, I'll be a support bunny. No problem. I'll go along. So I went with her, and one of the places that she looked at was this place, a 3 LDK. For those of you who don't know, the 3 is how many bedrooms it has. The L is if you have a living room or like a bigger space like I'm in now. DK, dining room, which means this space is even bigger. You could technically have a dining table, even if it's a little table. It's still considered dining. And K, kitchen. Yeah. So, she liked this particular place. She liked the placement. I wasn't too far away for, like, people. And while we were looking at this apartment, which is about $600, I think it was like $620 a month. She really liked it. The realtor made a joke to us and said, well, you know, the two of you can move in. And we were like, yeah, we have only just met and it's been like a week. Yeah, right. So I moved in 2 months later. Kind of how it worked. We became really good friends. She was at my door a lot. And we hung out, and we kind of decided that, like, also money-wise too, yeah, I'll move in. But it moved even faster when I found out my 17-year-old dog, who I've had for 17 years and who fell ill like 2 days before I moved to Japan. Like, I was able to go to the vet, but not hear the results until I was already here in a hotel room in Tokyo. But she passed away, my doggie. So I heard about that and was sad, and ended up carrying a futon from my apartment to Kylie's apartment, and I basically slept there until we moved out. And by the end of that month, which was June, so I moved in. It was great. Loved living with Kylie. It was wonderful. It's great to have someone to, like, talk about work with, or if you had a sucky day, to come home and just go meh, and the other one going meh meh. Let's watch something. Let's defrag. Yes, let's. And it was wonderful. And then a year later, stalker. I'll talk about that more, I think, in another one of these videos, looking back at 10 years in Japan. But basically, yeah, Kylie and I were sleeping in the living room because we didn't want to sleep in our rooms alone, and to get through that whole ordeal. Yeah. So, towards the end of that, I left Interact, and they were cutting back personnel as well, so, but not, I was living with somebody. I had a roommate, so I couldn't just go look for another different company and then like, hey, move here. And also, Kylie she's my best friend. I want to hang out with her. I want to be with her. So I endured eikaiwa hell and abuse at that job for a year. But during that and the soccer situation, Kylie and I decided we didn't want to leave the area, but the job, the abuse, the stalker, we need to leave Hitachi. And so we changed companies. I left Eikaiwa, she left Interact, and we went with Altea. They're Altea Central because they are mainly out of central Japan, which is Nagoya, Gifu, in that area. So Gotemba in Shizuoka is as far near Tokyo as they could basically went. Ooh, let's go see what that is. I don't know. It was in Japanese and very quiet and hard to hear. And she said, I'll come next month. I don't know. But she was like, I want to talk about stuff. And I just kind of went, this is not a good time. Yeah. Hubby could deal with that if he was home. He's on his way home. Altea Central. Gotemba. Gotemba is down as a driving only position. And Kylie and I wanted to be in the same city. We had decided we wanted to try, after all that stress and stuff, to try to live separate, to stand on our own 2 feet and whatnot. And I think she might have already been thinking about going back to Australia. And it was easier to do that if I already had an apartment and stuff. But anyways, yeah, so they made it work in Gotemba, the position for me. That, yes, it's driving, but my placement where my schools were, I could take the bus very easily. But living with Kylie for 3 years in a 3 LDK, you have a lot of stuff. So I could not take Altea's housing, which would have been like a Leo Palace. And Leo Palace, they give you a fridge, they give you a washer and all that. We kind of had that. Like, we were splitting, like, I think I got the washer and this and that. Like, it was kind of how we split things. But we had a lot of stuff. So I remember Daito from my first apartment and shops. And so the apartment I got in Gotemba was sight unseen, only photos online, Daito's site, contract done over email and things, and that was it. Yeah. So I do have videos and tours of all the places I've lived, 6 altogether. I have not done this one yet, so only 5 videos, I guess. But I made videos of all the places, like apartment tours and house tours. Have not done this house quite yet, but we own it, so there's time. So I wanted to get things more settled, like this couch and stuff. But yeah, anyways, I love that apartment. I was so happy that I got that apartment. Gotemba. Oh my gosh. Fuji. Being on the side of Mount Fuji and being able to see her when she wasn't shy and hiding, which was a lot. It was amazing. I'd get distracted from work because I'd just be looking out the window like, Fuji. Oh yeah, repeat after me. Oh, I miss Fuji so much. I don't miss living like 25 to a half-hour walk from the train station, Gotemba station. Don't miss that. it was great for just living your life, but living outside, like wanting to go on trips and things. I'm so happy Kylie had a car at that point with Altia. Oh yeah. Yeah, so yay, Gotemba, ja! I'm gonna be living in Gotemba forever now. Oh, what? The third ALT in the city is causing issues? And now the city wants to cut back Altia's contract to 2 ALTs and go with another company to fill the other open positions. That's fine. Oh, who has to leave the city? Not the third ALT who replaced the, but okay. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm moving to Kakamigahara in Gifu Prefecture. So, oh my gosh, I lived in Kakamigahara in this apartment, a 1 LDK, again, because a 1 LDK with all the stuff, and they were about the same price, about $520 a month. And for me, what was important, both in Gotemba and Kakamigahara, when you walked inside the door, there were stairs upstairs, like to go to the second floor. Stairs upstairs, who knew? To go upstairs. I felt having all the house, except for the stairs up there, I felt a lot safer after the stalker situation. It just, yeah. So, I love that apartment. I lived in it for 3 years. Yeah, I have a lot of fond memories. Again, I had to find it myself. I went right with Daito. I never had any issues because I was a foreigner. I will state that. I also was not looking for housing in Tokyo. So, yeah. Yeah, they rented to me a 2-year contract. No worries, no problems. Sight unseen again. Video of the reveal. So, great placement too. Like 8-minute walk to the train station. So you're not right on top of the train station. That was nice. Oh, it's a beautiful park nearby. And like 2 blocks away from my apartment was one of the top 100 cherry blossom spots in Japan along the river. Oh, so gorgeous. Oh, I'm happy. I think, I can't remember now, it's the first year if I got there in time or not. But I know I had at least 2 years. And my first cherry blossom hanami with my husband was there. So happy. And we have plans to like pack up the car, like my sister-in-law's van one of these years, and head up there. We probably would have done it this year and drive up there, but COVID. Oh, we want to do that because like hubby also absolutely loved it. It was gorgeous, and he's like, yeah, what we're probably gonna need to go up to Gifu, stay in a hotel, then get there like really early or something and get our spot, and then have the family drive up that day, and then we can have hanami together, and then maybe drive home with them. I think was the plan. I don't know. Someday. Yeah, that was so gorgeous. But as you can tell, during my time there, I met hubby. So I was there for 1 year, and Altea lost the contract with Kakamigahara. So I started working in Gifu, which Altea and Gifu are pretty solid in terms of contract. 3 years have passed. They picked up a Altea contract again. So my friend who I met, because I worked with her in Kakamigahara at the high school. She also has a YouTube. She is now working Kakamigahara again instead of like I went to Gifu. She went to, because she had a car and can drive, she went to another city that she could drive to. Well, met hubby, and now I was moving to Kansai. This ended Daito because hubby, yoroshiku, you can do this. Do it. Find us a place to live. I did not know that when you're searching for a place to live, they have an option that says you want it to be one building, I think. I don't know exactly how it reads, but it's kind of like ichito, like one building. And I had no idea you could rent a house in Japan. Now, he had a Zuki, and a Zuki is loud. So he needs to not have neighbors with her. So his apartment, when I met him, and, you know, I would go visit him there, he'd come visit me in Kakamigahara. It was like there was a izakaya, a bar, and then an apartment on top of it. And that's where he lived with the Zuki when I met him. And so we went from there to, hey, we're getting married. We found a house in Takarazuka, Hyogo, on Tsukimiyama. Now, I call it Mount Moon because in Pokemon, there is especially the first gen, there is a place called Mount Moon, and that is where the Clefairy are. The Japanese for that area in the game is Tsukimiyama. That's where I lived. So I lived in Mount Moon, and I love that. Kind of a little richier place, but we had this house, is what we found. 4 bedrooms, LDK. I was not settling for anything less than an LDK anymore for like the living room space and things like that. Nope. And he moved in November, and I moved in the following March. That was kind of, full disclosure, I don't know if I 100% ever felt like it was my house, my home, because he was there for like 5 months before I moved in, so it felt very much I'm moving into his space, even though it wasn't the same apartment above the izakaya. But no, I felt at home. It just, I don't know. Do you understand? I don't know. Do I understand? I don't know. So lived there, and then Vanilla came into our lives, and we are cat people now, and we're enjoying the house. The hill sucks. The hill suck. I took a taxi in the bus up the hill that they had. At first the bus wasn't running because of a bad typhoon that hit the area before we moved in, but then it started running again. Oh, yay. If not, I took a taxi. Hubby had his bike. He walked his bike up that hill every day, every work day. Oh, I don't know how he did it. That was the only downside. I mean, it was a slightly older house, so like, if we owned it, I would want to redo the toilet. I would want to redo the bath, the closet in the bedroom. There were like some things I would redo. But it was still a wonderful house. My friend in Gifu, who I knew all the way back from Hawaii when I studied in Hawaii, she also got married, and she bought a house. They bought a house. And it got me thinking. But I thought, no, I don't need to have this conversation with hubby, because I'm pretty sure we're basically waiting for grandma to die, and we're getting the jika. I mean, that would mean his mom lives with us until she probably passes. And the jika is not in good shape, so we get to rebuild, which means his mom will probably stay with us and was it rebuilt, which is fine. Yeah, so I never gave it a thought, but then I brought it up, and he was like, yeah, we're probably not getting the Giga, we're probably just gonna, like, sell the land, probably not, someone else in the back, yeah, not the Giga. Like, oh, what? Do you want to buy a house? And he was like, can we do that? We could. So we started shopping, and this is where we are. Now, I just want to point out, this is also a 4LDK. Bam! But bigger. Like, for example, this living room area alone is 20 tatami mats. The one in Mount Moon was 17. So it was a little smaller. The kitchen's bigger and different. Like, I can pan. Like, you could watch TV while cooking. The dining room table is over there too. The wooden deck. Oh my gosh. And there's a toilet on each floor, which is good because if you're somebody who uses the restroom during the night, it sucks to have to go downstairs from upstairs. Don't have to do that now. And I love this house. There are things that I kind of want to, like, I'm looking forward to renewal. I know the day is going to come, we're going to have to make some changes. And it's like, okay, when that happens, let's just go for it. But owning a house is terrifying. In Mount Moon, in Takarazuka, the owner called us, like, we lived there 2 years, so it happened twice. The owner called us and said, like, my son is coming over with someone to basically do a termite inspection and spray. And in Japanese, termites are shiro adi, white ants. I guess so. We have to think about that, and it terrifies me. Like, we don't know the last time it's been done. We need to do that at some point, maybe this summer. It's terrifying. It really is terrifying. Oh my gosh. The toilet on the first floor started having water around it, clean water. So I don't know where the water was coming from, but that's not good. And if you don't take care of it fast, not only are you replacing the toilet, you're also redoing the flooring. All the stuff you have to think about. And so we got that done. $3,500 for a new toilet. It is a washlet, so it has like the bidet, heated seat and whatnot, but $3,500. I don't know if that, like, see, this is what you don't know, how much this stuff costs. It seems very high to me, but I don't know. And also, was it like, we called them on the Sunday, they came that day, and they were like, we can get you the same, like, go back, pick up the toilet. If it's the same maker, except the most recent model, if you want to shop, then we'll have to come back and do it. And I was just like, get it done. That could have been a thing too. Like, I don't care about the toilet price, but like, was it same day, like an emergency? I don't know. And that's scary, not knowing. So yeah, the drain in the kitchen is kind of, I'm terrified you're gonna have, like, that's gonna come, that we're gonna have to redo the plumbing, and it's just, I haven't been home to the States and see my brothers, my aunt, my uncle, my cousins. One of my cousins, his wife passed away from cancer this last year. I almost went back, but COVID, like, I can't take that chance. I can't take a chance of, like, okay, I'll just go back for like 2 weeks. Which I don't want to go back alone. If I'm going back, I want to go with hubby and I want to introduce him to my family. But to go back and then, oh, you can't go back now because there's another state of emergency or we shut down. It's just like, I can't take that risk. I can't. It sucks. It sucks. But, yeah, so the savings going like a toilet, it's so scary. But as you can tell, I've moved a lot in the last 10 years, and I moved a lot before that. Like, I moved out of my mom's house. I had a roommate. The situation was bad. I went from that to living in the dorms at university. Then I studied abroad in Tokyo for a year. Then I transferred to Hawaii. I lived in the dorms in Hawaii, visited my brothers during Christmas when, you know. So I went back for Christmas and whatnot, but I didn't have a home. And when I first got here, I thought I had a home. And I just kept moving, and the stalker, and having to move every year, and it is so nice that I have a home, and I have a loving husband, and I'm happy. I'm happy. It's great. So, let's make it perfect. Let's go from great to perfect, okay? Mount Fuji, outside my window, sitting out on the deck, being able, Mount Fuji right there, and the shy itself, right there. Then a couple blocks that way, that river with all the pretty sakura, everything. I love the school I work at now. I do miss the community. I mean, there are other things I miss. Another video, right? About work in Japan. But this is living. Especially in Juo, when I first got here. And being at the local junior high school. And seeing those students. And like one year, winter, we had a snow day. Classes and work was canceled. And a few of my students were in our parking lot. They didn't know we lived there. It's just, it was a big parking lot with snow, so they were having a snow fight. It's like looking out the window, and there they are, and it's just, that community I kind of miss. Yeah. Well, that is living in Japan and where I've lived. I want to do a house tour of the house we bought and live in now. But it's a work in progress, I guess I'll say. Like, at first we didn't have this couch, and now we do, and I just feel like I never had time to, like, properly, like, clean and make it what I felt was presentable. Maybe this summer I'll work on it, but yeah, it's overdue. Definitely overdue. But you can check out the house tours to 5 other places I lived in Japan over the last 10 years. Link down below. Alright guys. 9 more videos. And then I'll be here in Japan for 10 years. Wow. Alright. See you in number 9. Ja!